My daughter is dating a 38-year-old man. What can I do to make it stop? I think it's important to mention that I can't do anything legally. I have already spoken to lawyers since my daughter was at least 16 when it started, and there's no proof that it started earlier or that there's any abuse or coercion going on. Any suggestion is welcome. Thanks in advance. All you can really do is make sure she is well versed on abusive and/or controlling behavior, has access to birth control and health care, and that she trusts you enough to know you are a supportive safety net. Alienating her will not help and may trap her with him. I have to wonder if his crowd and employer knows her age. I wouldn't necessarily advertise it to them, but I would refuse to lie if asked. Reverse psychology. Seriously, pretend you're okay with it. Invite him over for dinner. The catch: treat him like he's a 17-year-old boy. Ask him his intentions towards your daughter. Ask to meet his parents. If you forbid it, you'll only push her away. So silently forbid it, but make it look like you're okay with it, and she'll eventually get so disgusted, she'll find someone her own age. Invite him to dinner. Mention your similarity in ages a lot. Invite her friends to dinner too. There's nothing like integration and socializing to make odd personalities stick out. Potentially he'll dig his own grave. Don't try to break them up. They are really far apart in age. That will work against them. If you try to break them up, she'll cling to him harder out of spite. You should ask this again in the IULPT sub. They have great unethical advice about how to deal with things like this. They banned that one. Here's the new one: our unethical life pro tips. Talk to her about why a man that age would want to date a 17-year-old. If it's legal, then you can't do anything to stop it other than explain your concerns to your daughter. If you try to do more than that, i.e. threaten to kick her out your house, she'll most likely double down, move in with him, and cut you off. If you go down this road, you're more likely to end your relationship with your daughter than her relationship with the guy. She will outgrow the relationship. Meanwhile, hang tough. Also consider whatever academic goals she or you may have. If she goes away to college and has some sort of bigger life goal than where she is now, it can pull her away and elevate her life without even addressing the creep in the room. Have you considered just talking to her about your concerns? Say the age gap is a bit large and you are worried about her. Be specific though, have a real adult conversation. You are correct that forbidding them to be together will make her retreat. I was in a similar position with my parents. They didn't like my boyfriend even though he was my age, so I got really sneaky. That's fucking disgusting. I'm 38 and I wouldn't even date a man in his 20s. Never mind a 17-year-old boy. Don't tell her not to date him because she'll just dig her heels in harder, but be there for her as much as possible. Let her know she can talk to you about anything. She is being preyed upon. Instead of trying to stop it, think ahead. When it goes bad, you want her to have a safe and trusting place to return to. Be that place. Don't burn any bridges. Keep the lines of communication open. That's too great an age difference at her age. The relationship is likely to fail at some point. Be there for her. Encourage her to use contraception. Preferably a highly reliable method which is difficult to tamper with. Encourage her to pursue her education and preparation for work. Pretend to show interest in one of her 18-year-old friend. If she thinks it's weird because you're old, then you could use that to show how weird it is for that creep to date her. Remember, you're supposed to destroy the Sith, not join it. Sounds like he's grooming her. In no way is this a normal relationship. I'm guessing he showers her with gifts and takes her out to fancy places? I have a pair of sisters that have worked at my family hot springs since they were in their early teens. When the older sister had just turned 17, I was helping her run the counter when her 36-year-old boyfriend showed up to visit her. No one had told me about this guy, so instinctually I just dragged him out front by his collar and started chewing his ass out. I don't give a shit if it's technically legal. It's not right to take advantage of a kid in that situation. As a 38-year-old man, the deviance this would require from a healthy view of relationships is fucking staggering. I have friends I went to high school with who have kids in their 20s, and this girl is high school age. I hope you figure it out. Age of consent laws are meant to protect people from these situations, but wherever you live, they're way too permissive. Just remind her that she'll spend her 40s wiping his old ass. Ask him if he's married. If he says he's divorced, tell him you would like to meet her, see what he says. I honestly wish my mom would have grabbed me by the hair and beat my ass. Instead, she told me she was thankful that he was a teacher and not a thug. Fast forward to now, and I'm still trying to put my life together after he stole my childhood and abused me. Get her away from him at all costs. She deserves to live her life. This isn't advice, but I'd love to know what this man's colleagues and friends think of him dating a 17-year-old. It probably won't last very long TBH, but if you invite him over and treat him like a child like some of these comments have mentioned, she's only going to cut you off. There's so many comments, not sure this will help or been seen. But I didn't realize they were predators. I didn't realize I was being used. I was running from a bad home life and just wanted love. There are signs though. A week-long retreat that builds self-worth and involves family therapy under the guise of vacation might just do the trick. Or plant the seed to see this for what it is. You can't. Any attempt to control your teens will cause them to rebel and make more dumb decisions. Just let her figure it out on her own. Chances are he'll treat her better than someone her age, but eventually she'll get bored and drop his ass. What sort of asshole's 40-something guy dates a minor? What a creep. Doesn't he know women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s are way better? More mature, better in bed, and all around more fun. Older women for the win. If I was her father, I'm telling you right now, this would not be happening. You're her fucking mother, not her friend. I blame you for letting it get this far. Take some bloody control, FFS. I can't believe this or your pathetic excuses. Nothing you can do about it, my ass. There is just nothing you can do. Where are the older women in her life she trusts to tell her how cringe she will think this is at 38? Definitely see if one of you can talk to her about contraception. My ex, who was a couple years older than me at the time, told me when she was 17 she dated people in their 30s. She was adamant that there was nothing wrong with it. She was 28 at the time of telling me. I don't think there's anything you can do besides be there and support her. Hire a PI who specializes in honey traps. Work brilliantly to get rid of the older scumbag who was trying to convince my daughter to drop out of university and go live with him. Once her social media is pinging with photos of him flirting with a woman his own age, she'll end it herself. I would be finding out everything I can about this dude. This is wrong on so many levels. I'm sorry, Op. This has to be hard. 38M here. I can't even imagine trying to have a conversation with a woman that's 23. 17 is a kid, and this dude is one sick fuck. I did the same at that age. I eventually outgrew him and realized it was messed up. I hope your kid figures it out. Looking back, I'm grossed out, but thankful I broke it off. Does she know about safe sex? As predatory as this seems to be, like others have said, you're probably not going to stop it, so I think you just have to mitigate the inevitable fallout. Also, make sure your daughter knows about the dangers of sexting if she doesn't already. Even if she's at the age of consent for your area, please note that exchanging explicit pictures is not legal until 18. Kind of an anomalous legal thing. Can't do anything to stop it. Just be there for her when she is ready to make a change. Be supportive of her even if you can't be supportive of the relationship.